And welcome again to Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week. My name is Casey Johnson, with me as always,
Gideon Gonzalez. Casey, you ready to talk about some spooky boys and gals?
I am ready for that.
Because Gotham City Monsters came out this week, and hot damn, I loved it.
That was really interesting. I had no idea
So
this book
good.
was coming out. And it's like, my favorite part of this, I'm just going to say right off the bat, is Killer Croc trying to rehabilitate himself.
Yes.
Because he earned his passage out of Suicide Squad.
Yes. And even though one of my biggest problems with the last run of Suicide Squad was that no one died,
Yeah.
it's really nice seeing development from that.
So we're not just going to go for a body count every single time it's an event with Suicide Squad.
Exactly.
Of course, we're going to get another Suicide Squad fairly soon,
Yes.
from what I'm understanding.
Mm-hmm. I'm very excited about that book, which we will talk about
We will
later
talk
in the
about
news.
that later. Let's talk about what is in Gotham City Monsters. One of my also favorites is I, Vampires in this.
Yo, Vampire, Andrew Bennett.
I really like I, Vampire. When I do hero clicks, I actually have a little monster squad, and my I, Vampire is like my
Nice.
leader.
Ah.
It's very cool.
And he fights the Mad Monk in the first page of this book, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what a great deep cut. I'm a huge Steve Orlando fan just because he clearly loves late 90s, early 2000s DC as much as I do.
Mhm.
And so seeing him bring in the Mad Monk, bring in Grant Morrison's version of Frankenstein.
Yes.
Oh my
with,
god.
With the band
Yes.
leader jacket. Oh, yeah.
I love that character so much, and I'm glad to see him, even if it's not a Frankenstein title, headlighting a really cool team.
Frankenstein was in another team that I was really Justice League Dark, wasn't he?
Yes, he was in Justice League Dark for a while.
Yeah, I actually bought those issues because I really dig Constantine. So if he's going to be in a dark team, I'm going to be all about
Yeah.
that. Who else did we have in this?
We also have Orca, who in Rebirth is no longer just a woman in a suit. She is actually a half Orca monster.
I have no idea who Orca is. This is new ground
She
for me.
was a Larry Hama and Scott McDaniel creation for their run on Detective in the early 2000s, 2000,
Yeah, I
2001.
miss the Larry Hama.
She had maybe 5 appearances before Rebirth, and they brought her back as a Nightwing villain, and now she's back in this.
Yeah, and she attacked a not Clayface, but something Clay related.
Yes, Lady Clay, who was part of the Mud Pack back in the 80s, and I think she's the third or fourth Clayface. So
Is she?
It's Basil Carlo, Matt Hagen. She's somewhere in the mix there. There's been too many Clayfaces.
My track on tracking Clayfaces comes from the old DC Who's Who books. And I know, the most modern Clayface was he was wearing this blue and red outfit and had a canister
The
head.
jar, yeah.
Yeah, and he was inside all screwed up and stuff. But the most recent Clayface is damn near Bat Family from what I'm
Yeah, that was they brought Basil Carlo back, and he was in Detective as a hero. I think that ended with him going villain again, though.
So what's his connection to this one?
Not 100% sure. My Clayface lore is not super deep, in case you couldn't tell from me not knowing which number Lady Clay was.
Yeah, I'm really rough on Clayface too, except for the fact that I saw Batwoman kill
Yeah.
Clayface, which pissed off the rest of the Bat family to her and ousted her for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he recovered from that.
I mean, he's a very amorphous guy.
Yeah, I figured as much. Who else do we have in this?
I think that covers it. Yeah, I Vampire, Frankenstein,
Where do you
Killer
think
Croc,
this is going? Do you
Orca.
think this is going to be the new Justice Squad in Gotham because Gotham's so lawless?
I mean, I kind of love how they set that up with oh yeah, Bane's Gotham now, so there's no heroes.
Yeah.
And so all these weird cult monsters start coming in, bringing back the Sheed, who are the villains from Seven Soldiers.
And it appears that the theater that's in Gotham, which they go out of their way to explain that no crime has ever happened at this theater, and some crime happened at this theater, and it killed the entire audience.
Yeah.
107 people, including everybody connected to these monsters. So I think that's probably their unifying thing. They're gonna be the justice people of Gotham.
I'm proud of these monsters.
Spooky
Guys and gals, just in time for Halloween.
You know what? I'm not seeing it here on my list, but I'm gonna segue into Batman because I know you read that.
I actually didn't read Batman.
You didn't
this
read
week.
Batman?
No, I missed it on Wednesday, and I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
Okay, so
But from what I understand, not a lot happens in that.
not a lot happens, but I'm gonna tell you what happens, and hopefully you can
Okay.
tell me what I'm dealing with here.
All right.
But the Bat and the Cat are off, I guess, in Barbados.
I saw the Magnum PI outfit Bruce Wayne was rocking.
Yeah, he's
I'm
rocking the
all about
stash.
that.
He's got a stash.
Got a little
that whole
hat.
thing. and they're basically going, playing cat and mouse with each other, little, playful flirts. But this happened with us. We're trying to do this, and the whole thing takes place on this paradise getaway. So I'm trying to figure out why are they doing that.
So Catwoman had saved Bruce Wayne and taken him, I think, to Italy is where they went, Italy or France, and they've been hiding out with him not knowing what's going on and back in Gotham.
So they're still in this place. Apparently, he's still going through physical therapy. She's teaching him, or I guess reteaching him how to do things. There's one point where she's like, "Throw this battering at me," and he tosses it at her. And it's like, "Okay, no, this is how you would toss it at me, not to hurt me. You need to really freaking toss this." And I know the whole thing is supposed to be them reuniting. Them going through the whole process of being emotionally intimate and all this other stuff. At the same time, trying to rehabilitate Bruce, but it really did feel like nothing else really happened in this.
I was excited to read it because I like me just some good Batcat filler stuff, which has been a lot of this run. I know a lot of people have been crazy about it, but I've really enjoyed it.
Now, normally if somebody had explained it to me in the way I just explained it to me, I would have read 10 pages and like filler, which pretty much what happened with Spider-Man. That was garbage filler. I read that, I was like, flip, no, toss.
Oh, but did you see the last couple pages?
I did read the last couple pages, just in case I missed something.
I really liked the last page.
I did, but I didn't understand the emotional choke of it.
Oh.
So I was like backing up. It's like, okay, what just ruined the day for this kid? Okay, so I should probably put this in proper perspective. Going from Batman to Spider-Man, we're kind of jumping all over the place. Apparently this isn't going to work today. In Spider-Man, Mary Jane gets a job, a movie job.
Setting up her miniseries, yeah.
So, it's a TV job with this new director who is like a visionary director. But she's going to be away for like 2 months. And I guess he's going through the whole deal of like, oh, crap, he's going to be gone. And he's telling Aunt May about it. Aunt May's like, oh, you'll be fine. She's not going to chase her away and all this other stuff. And like kind of at that point, which I'm already 8 pages in, I'm realizing I haven't even really seen Spider-Man except maybe once. So I start flipping through it, and there's a lot of flashback scenes of him fighting other people, being interrupted, going to major situations.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is flip, okay, dry, and then it gets to the last page where he has, I guess this isn't the right day for this, and he's got the engagement ring.
Yeah, so the whole issue is basically Aunt May and MJ being like, it's okay if you can't, take her to the airport and see her off, but Pete's like, no, I really want to get it done this time. And because it's all about how, he has to be constantly missing things because he's being Spider-Man.
Right.
And so he goes to stop the chameleon, and he's not able to make it in time, and he was planning on proposing to MJ. And it just feels like another step towards that undoing one more day that I keep praying for. And so... they'll throw me a bone like this every 6 months, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, we're getting there.
It was just the way the art in the last page, it made it seem dark.
Yeah, it seemed kind of heavy.
And it was more heavy than what I just absorbed going through the book. So I was confused by that. And I thought, well, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I just didn't read all that filler content.
It should have been more melancholy than devastating, it was shown.
Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't really understand what was going on with that.
Okay.
Jumping back to our schedule, let's talk about Wonder Twins. We're going to talk about Wonder Twins.
It's been on hiatus for a month, and I'm so glad I can finally talk about Wonder Twins, because it's my favorite DC book right now.
It's actually some nice, clean art.
Yeah, Stephen Byrne does amazing work in there, and Mark Russell, who is one of my boys, writes it. Love everything he does, and this is such a fun, sweet issue. It kind of carries on from some plot stuff from the first 6 issues, but it's otherwise a mostly self-contained little arc for Jaina as she's dealing with having to cope essentially with being isolated from being a superhero.
Yeah, so what we're talking about now, or at least this storyline, is the Wonder Twins have taken care of this major arc villain all by themselves, and Zan's in the spotlight. He's talking to all his friends about how cool he was. How
he's H2O now.
He's H2O. So Superman's like, we really don't have anything for these kids to do, and we want to open up the base so we can showcase transparency. So they made them tour guides.
and they inadvertently reveal a global crisis that the Justice League was like, we're just going to take care of this really quickly and quietly, and it causes a mass panic in the streets as people are like, oh my god, there's asteroids coming, which then...
What's the Justice League gonna do? And of course you see the Bat plane and Wonder Woman and Superman flying off. They're leaving us! Leaving us to this thing!
And of course the Justice League comes back and is like, why are you all rioting? And they're like, we know, like, you kept the asteroids a secret and tried to leave her. It's like, no, we do this, like, twice a week.
Yeah, we had to leave because that's where the asteroid
yeah,
is.
Exactly.
So, that was cute. I enjoyed that. I read Wonder Twins 1, 2, and 3, and then I just kind of checked out.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I hated it, just because I stopped grabbing DC books for a while.
Yeah, I get you.
Because they were just really disappointing weeks. But I enjoyed it. Next thing that we got is something you were really excited was the Year of the Villain, Riddler.
Yes, also written by Mark Russell. It's basically Riddler's midlife crisis.
Yes, we find out where the core of it really comes from. The fact that he was given a trophy at the age of 10 and finally appreciated. And you know, Luthor's like, really? That's the basis of your core being is a childhood trophy from when you were 10. So Riddler's angry because Luthor has gone through all the other villains and kind of given them, you know, like gifts.
Everyone's getting buffed. It's
super buff.
Underworld Unleashed all over again.
Yeah, but he didn't visit Riddler, and
he's upset about it.
Yeah, so eventually he does visit Riddler, and it really comes down to it. My gift to you is no gift, and here's the reason why. And it goes basically unraveling. And meanwhile, you're finding out about the bromance between King Tut
Yes,
and Riddler.
I love this new version of King Tut.
And they're both trappers.
Yes.
So there's like, okay, King Tut's like, okay, check this out. We're going to get the bat this time, I swear, because we almost got him last time. We need to combine it.
We just do 2 traps.
We do 2 traps.
I love that.
So like when he's dealing with me, riddle time.
I love that the scene in the beginning where Riddler's just like, why is it that we always lose? Is it the gimmicks? And King Tut's just super serious, like, no, never say that, Edward.
Never the gimmicks. And he goes to hug Riddler. Riddler's like, no, please don't.
But the biggest thing that my big takeaway from it was just what's next for him, because he gives up, like, spoiler alert, he gives up being the Riddler at the end of the issue.
Or at least he gives up the version of what he is. He tosses the bowler and the jacket off.
I'm hoping that this means Mark Russell's doing like a Riddler miniseries that explores what's next for him, because
there was a time when Enigma was a private detective.
Yes, and I love that era.
And he did really well for himself.
It was really fun because he was basically just picking up on all the red herrings in a mystery story.
Yeah.
While Batman was like investigating the same case, but like sidestepping those.
I wish that they would do something with Riddler back in that vein. I know that was the New 52 thing, but I hate to say this, but some of the things in New 52
that was
worked.
That was actually pre-New 52.
Was it?
That was right around around Final Crisis time, because that was when like Gotham City Sirens had a crossover issue.
I don't normally read Batman, but when New 52 came out, I had to get all the books.
Yeah.
I was that guy that got all 52 of the 52s. And it was right around that time I started, kind of following Batman, and then I saw that Riddler was a private eye, and I was like, what's up with that?
Yeah, that was the Paulini's Detective Run did that.
Yeah.
That was...
Then he became a Golem again?
Yeah. Because, Tony Daniel did a lot of not fun, regressive arcs on his run on Batman, and one of them was like, what if we made the Riddler like a psycho killer, and he's wearing tights again, and he's got like a creepy Joker smile?
We don't need Proto-Joker.
No, exactly.
Well, we had the Duella for a while. What? In White Knight we had that other Joker. What was her called?
Oh, Neo Joker?
I really like those colors on her. That goes back to the costume.
It's like lilac and purple is her color scheme,
and I really
right?
like that look, and I wish they could actually bring that character over into the real world.
Maybe we'll get a multiversal crossover.
Maybe Watchmen will give us Neo Joker. Until then, check out White Knight. White Knight is a great series where apparently, though the premise, of course, is that the Joker's trying to do right, and Batman's like, nah, that's impossible. There's no way the Joker could try to do right. He still keeps trying to do right, but then,
things happen.
Joker's Joker.
So moving on from there, an issue that has a lot of big news in it.
Young Justice. Yeah, they're in the Earth 3.
The Crime Syndicate world.
One of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. And they get to meet the Crime Syndicate version of Young Justice.
And apparently the Crime Syndicate is still gone from the evil...
Forever Evil?
Forever Evil crossover.
Yeah.
And man, they really screwed over the Crime Syndicate. So apparently that's still a thing. The DC is still holding on to some level of continuity with that one. Let's talk about the evil versions of Young Justice. Was it Amazon with an X?
Yeah. It's
Star.
like Amazon Thunder, I think is their name.
I thought it was Amazon Star.
Something. But yeah, the Amazon with the X,
You're right,
I think was
Amazon Thunder.
The Amazon with an X in it was the important part, because that's such a good name.
Yeah, so apparently that's evil Wonder Girl. She's like black stars all over her tights and stuff like that. You've got Impulse's guy, Speed Zone.
Yes.
He doesn't really talk a whole lot.
No, he gets which I mean that's good for an opposite of Impulse.
Yeah.
He gets Impulse. They're running together, and Impulse is like a quick stop, and the guy just overshoots him by a couple of continents in a fun scene.
I really like Stephanie Brown in this.
That was actually one of my issues with the book. Is I don't like when all universe characters break theme. I didn't like that Stephanie Brown was still a hero.
Still somewhat of a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really get a sense of exactly where her alignment stands, because the moment she shows up, Tim just drops an E-bomb, emotional bomb on her. You know, about how, I'm in an intense relationship with you elsewhere. And she's like, really? And then, of course, by that time she takes off her helmet, Impulse goes over there, co-cocks her, bar style in the back of the head. And he's like, dude, I was connecting.
And speaking of Tim Drake, that's his big revelation is he takes his Earth 3 counterpart's code name because he thought it sounded cool.
Drake.
Which, a sliding timeline, all the Young Justice kids are like 19 at the youngest, mostly in their early 20s. They all know who Drake is.
Yeah.
They're just going to make Hotline Bling jokes the entire time.
Now, of course, we did a little cheating because, solicitations be what they are. We found out pictures. We've seen Drake's new costume, which is popping up here right now.
It's a bit of an eyesore.
Yeah, I don't know really what's going on with this outfit. You got grays, you got golds. Cool. You got brown. That's it.
Yep, he,
no hoods, no cloak.
Looks like a new 52 UPS driver.
It's Dullsville.
It's just, there's no iconography, it's just super busy, the colors are bland.
And that's one thing that DC is known for, is its iconography on its heroes.
Yeah.
So, what the hell is it?
Like, you could, even Drake, like the Earth 3 version,
a little D.
he had a little D, looked like the Robin logo.
Steal that.
It was good. You should have just stolen Drake's costume.
Maybe they'll pull a Scarlet Spider and change it at the last second.
Once everyone's just like, oh, that's hideous.
It is hideous.
Like, it's a bad costume.
Did he also steal his mask? He's got that silly bat mask.
I mean,
the bat-shaped mask.
He should.
Yeah.
I really loved Tim Drake's Red Robin costume, but when he had the domino mask instead of the cowl.
I like the cowl.
I like the cowl too, but I mean...
But I liked it because it was reminiscent of Kingdom Come.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've actually have an action figure of Red Robin just because I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was a great costume. I just
It does feel like it's missing ears.
Yeah.
Dramatically missing
exactly.
ears.
And the domino mask just felt more like keeping in continuity with Tim Drake.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just keeping that visual cohesion.
I didn't like the winged version of Tim Drake.
Yeah, hated that.
And that was Falcon Drake.
They're like, hey, what if we made him a bird?
No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of birds, Bo, the reason they call Earth 3 Tim Drake calls himself Drake is because he says it's the deadliest bird on Earth. Drakes are male ducks.
Oh
my
god.
My justification I've been telling myself is, okay, Earth 3, everything's like morality swapped. Maybe on this universe,
ducks are hardcore.
Exactly. Ducks are docile ducks are like intense evil, and geese are
damn right
chill.
domesticated.
Yeah, they eat your bread crumbs and they're super sweet.
Yeah, they're totally hanging out. And eagles eat flowers.
Earth 3
We got
is
flower-eating birds of prey out there.
Earth 3 is a better place,
But
truly.
damn that Drake, man. that waterfowl waddled up onto me.
could've-
I peed myself.
He could have even said just like name myself after like cool dragons, because like drakes are kind of
Yeah,
dragons.
you've got an opportunity here. Lie to us.
Exactly. But man, ducks.
Oh, a dragon-based costume. Some emeralds, some
Could've been
green,
cool.
some deep blacks.
Hey, classic Robin colors.
Yeah.
Drake Goose it is.
So we got to look forward to this in 3 issues.
Yes.
This is 7, and
Mhm.
now it's going to premiere on 10. Let's see where DC goes with that one.
I've been really enjoying Young Justice on the whole. This is kind of the first, like, pothole.
Deviation.
Yeah, where I'm like,
And it really is just comes down to, your writing can't be perfect all the time. And sometimes when you're trying to validate something, even you think it's silly, it's just not going to work.
yeah.
And the outfit, it's going to sink that idea. Alright, so moving on. Daredevil 11.
Oh, Daredevil's been so good.
I read this. I haven't read a Daredevil in a long time. The art on this is really good.
Yeah, Marco Cicchetto. He did Old Man Hawkeye. He did Daredevil before. I think he did Punisher for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool art style.
Yeah, I mean, it was shockingly good. So the idea is that Matt Murdock has essentially gotten his identity back.
Yeah, he got that back in the Charles Soule run,
Mhm.
which predates this current series.
What they call it, Daredevil Volume 5, Issues
It's like
9?
6 right now in the current stuff.
No, that's when he got his identity back.
Oh yeah, it's like 6.
I don't know how that worked, because I didn't read it.
Yeah, I skipped the Soule run on the whole.
Yeah.
But right now he's kind of dealing with not being Daredevil. Like
Yeah, and
issue
he's,
1, he maybe killed someone. That's kind of the big mystery. Is like, did he actually kill that guy? Like, it seems like he might have. So just to be on the safe side, Matt Murdock is like, I'm done being Daredevil. I can't risk killing people.
He's suffering deep Catholic guilt.
Oh yeah, over
He's
killing
giving-
someone.
Yeah, and he basically finds the mother of this person he may have killed, and he's giving her all kinds of things. Like, if you need anything, even if you need the money for all the problems that you've got, come to this attorney. And what I understand is that Matt Murdock is now a parole officer.
Yes, which is I think it's a really cool job.
That is a kind of cool one. Gig. So, what else is going on is the fact that there's like a bunch of Daredevil wannabes kind of bouncing
Yeah,
around.
since he's stopped being Daredevil,
Mhm.
some of the people in Hell's Kitchen have taken upon themselves to be Daredevil, and it's not been going great for them. I mean, it's been going okay, but now like there's a police task force out to get all Daredevils.
But even though he's not Daredevil, and they've got all these Daredevils flying around, he's still doing something.
Yeah, he's
wrapping
still
his face, and
he's putting T-shirts over his eyes, and
for some reason, Elektra has no clue what she's dealing with. She's like, how can you see through that?
yeah, there's like a mass memory wipe thing I think in the
Did they
Soul
pull up
run.
Mephisto?
Yeah,
Oh god. I guess you have to, as often as they've been revealing his identity.
exactly.
So, you got to get with me about that. You know what? No, screw that. Let's give some context. How did that happen? How did the memory wipe happen?
I didn't read that run. I just know that there was
How
a
did that
memory
crap
wipe.
about it?
Yeah. So, Charles Soule fans, let us know what happened.
Yeah, if you have any idea how Daredevil got his identity back, let us know, because we clearly checked out around that time.
But I mean, the whys and the hows aren't important. Important
Yeah.
part is Daredevil's back to having secret identity. This run's really, really good. Like,
Yeah, surprisingly so. I mean, because I wasn't a big thrill about the last Daredevil run either, so
Mhm.
when they started up like a year ago, I was like, no, I'm skipping that.
one of my favorite things about this current run, though, is the new detective character, who is very hardline, like, not gonna deal with superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he transferred over from, like, Chicago or LA or something, so he's like, not really gonna deal with this.
And he sets up a fake mugging
To get Spider-Man.
To get Spider-Man.
And such a good Spider-Man scene where he just lays up like, look, you're wasting all of these resources trying to catch me when I could be doing important stuff.
Yeah, and when he's like, he's having a debate with him. He's like, you know what, you and me, we're gonna have a little chat. Yank. He picks him up on top, and he makes him sit there for an hour watching the sunset before he even starts talking to him. And it's like, when it really comes down to it, yes, we are a little bit above the law. I mean, you ask us that. We are. And he lists down all the crap that they have to deal with constantly to keep not only their identities in check, but also a self-policing when stuff goes wrong. Yeah. We're trying to keep the cursing to a minimum here, so I'm working hard on it. So he's trying really hard to police themselves, and he's trying to implore them. It really comes down to it. Which do you want to do? Do you want to enforce the law, or do you want to save lives? And by the way, the weapons is all they know.
Yeah.
And that's where we leave him at the end of this book. I didn't expect Spider-Man to be in this book.
Yeah, Zdarsky's used him once before in this run. There was also a really, really good scene where it's Spidey's like been waiting in Murdoch's apartment for him to come home, and it's just this whole page of how Matt Murdock like reads Spider-Man, like just his presence.
Oh yeah.
It's really, really cool little scene.
I missed out on that.
Yeah, go back and I mean it's only 11 issues in.
But I think there's one thing I can take away from this new podcast is that I am reading a lot more comics than I used to. Because I used to stick with, you know, the tried and true stuff that I love. You know, if you've got a good character I like, or if your art is good, I'm going to read you. But if you burn me once or twice, I'm checked out permanently. And that's pretty much what happened with me with Daredevil. It's what happened with me with the majority of the DC books. It was happening with me with Flash. I just couldn't go back. But now I'm reading this stuff. It's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be of service.
I'm gonna this is a mainliner. Powers Vex.
Oh yes.
Powers Vex. Which had my boy Sabretooth's face on it. I was really excited.
Oh.
And then I was let down because he wasn't in it.
Well, I got the cover that had Mr. Sinister on the cover, so.
Mr. Sinister was easily the best part
Oh
of this
my
book.
god. I love that they just took 2 pages just to be a gossip rag between all the different Sinisters, and it's just all these little foreshadowings and callbacks, and oh, it was delightful. I love just puzzling over those for a good, like, 10 minutes.
So we got Xavier and Magneto are coming to Mr. Sinister, basically to put him on a particular path. This is in the chronology, this is year 1.
Mm-hmm.
So this is supposed to be, I guess, the seedings of what we have is the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
So they go to visit this geneticist, Nathan Essex, who's not even messing around with mutant stuff, by and large. And it's like, we need you to start messing with mutant stuff.
He's just chilling out on an island with his own clones.
Yeah, just racking his own clones in his little furry throne, looking pretty much like Mr. Sinister sans cape, which is the reason what I had the most fun with this one, because as soon as he saw Magneto's cape, like, I want a cape. Why don't I have a cape? And his butler, another one of him, I've always thought you should get a cape.
Then why didn't you say anything?
Kill this
Execute.
man! Kills the butler, and then starts talking to them. It's like, why would I want to mess with the mutant genome? That's beneath me. I've got this other project. And all of a sudden his head explodes. This other Mr. Sinister pops up with cape. I was like, hi, I'm the mutant Mr. Sinister, and I'm all about this, and I've got my cape.
He describes his mutant powers as killing tyrants and being very fabulous all the time. And as someone who has long read Mr. Sinister in, oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on his voice, Frankenfurter.
Are you talking about
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, like, Tim Curry is Mr. Sinister to me.
Yes.
So,
for the longest time, I've always tried to rationalize why a villain would be so self-aware to call himself Mr. Sinister.
oh, because he's super camp.
And that's it. As soon as I got to his book, that's the reason.
Yeah.
He's completely aware.
He's just very self-absorbed.
Oh my god. I was not expecting a comedy bomb in the middle of this series.
Oh my god,
He
yeah.
brought it. I cannot wait to see more of Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, like, Jonathan Hickman's Sinister was the unexpected delight.
I hope they really keep going with that.
And kudos to R.B. Silva for all of those different, like, Sinister designs.
Yes, even the Sinister Guard. They have to deal with.
Yeah.
Who also, oh god, he brought a cape.
It's like, people, like, I mean, dressed like that, you're probably not here for anything good.
Yeah, exactly. That cape, yeah, okay, good. So, God, I was so thrown by this Mr. Sinister thing that the rest of the book is a blind to me.
I know, like, I don't think a ton else happened. Like, we don't get any more of the X10 timeline anymore.
Oh, that's right. It went to X1000.
Yeah. Oh, because we didn't get anything from X10.
Right.
Because we're saving that for the next issue of House of X.
Mm-hmm.
X100, that timeline's done. Like,
Yeah.
no more X100 content.
So then we have X1000.
Yes.
Which was an interaction with the Phalanx, which they, I don't know, it seems like they were trying to pull an Independence Day.
Yeah, it felt very much like.
Yeah, the Phalanx had shown up, okay, we're going to take you. I was like, okay, go ahead and take us. And now we're part of you, and now we're changing something about you. So, the mutants of X1000 have eventually kind of rewrote the Phalanx.
Yeah.
But not in an adversarial way.
I liked how they're kind of getting into more of how the phalanx work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like how their kind of submission to them was offering a digitized version of their consciousness before becoming fully developed. I thought that was a really cool idea. But man, it really is tough to follow the Sinisters.
And the Sinister rules that were being detailed. We're going to have to go back on that a few times because I can tell from the way it's written, some of those are camp too.
Oh my god, his what's it called? The Sinister Secrets?
Yes.
The gossip column?
As a matter of fact, I'm going to implore my editor to kind of span up the Sinister Secrets on the screen here so you guys can check this out as we roll ourselves into a break.
I figured out, most of them, but there's a few that I still got some questions on.
Yeah, there's some really interesting stuff here where he's like, you can tell he's talking about, okay, he's talking about Wolverine. Okay, now he's talking about Vulcan.
Or Apocalypse and
or he's also talking about Adam X.
Could there be more Summers Brothers?
No.
Probably not.
Anyway, check out some of this stuff as we go into our break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at Captain Marvel, the Moon Knight Annual, Squirrel Girl, and some pop culture stuff. See you.
And welcome back, everyone. We are now talking about a book I didn't read this week, but Casey is going to fill me in on a new character. Casey, who is Star in this week's Captain Marvel?
Star, yes. Apparently a hero to upstage Carol Danvers at every turn. Basically, she's got all of her powers, flying around, being strong, all that kind of stuff. And something has happened. They basically pulled a Daredevil on Captain Marvel, and they outed her for being Kree. And that did not go over very well, finding out that their hero is an alien, because not only did the public turn on her about this, but she lost all of her military credentials for it.
I mean, in fairness, I also did not like the reveal that Captain Marvel was Kree, but I wouldn't have stripped her of her rank.
Yeah, well, apparently that's what the military does. You find out, we'll barely let a Mexican American be one of us, but an alien? No, I ain't gonna roll, apparently. Not even in the Marvel Universe. But that's what's going on. She lost her rank, lost her credentials, all that stuff. She's not pleased about it in the slightest. She is dealing with Minerva.
I'm familiar.
You know what Minerva is. Minerva is a classic Miss Marvel villain. And Minerva came to her, because she's now Kree. Minerva actually connects to her. She's like, the Kree homeworld is dead. Our genetic line is ending, because I don't know if you know this or not, but the Kree are basically at their genetic end. They can't evolve past that. That's been true for about 20 years.
Okay.
So that's not helping them at all.
Mm-hmm.
So Carol agrees to help Minerva, and Minerva actually truly wants to do something instead of just I'm a villain. So they're trying to do their thing, but Minerva wants to hedge her bets. So she did some shady stuff, including outing Carol Danvers, and she wants basically to her have no options and turn to her.
Oh, okay.
Wherein Captain Marvel simply just agreed right off the bat. At the same time she's dealing with this, she's also dealing with Star basically stealing her limelight. And of course, Carol's not too enraptured in the whole idea, but it is like getting in the way of things. We find out that Captain Marvel has a virus in her that's in her chest, and it's sapping her powers out. And we find out that the source of that is Star.
Oh, okay.
Star has basically been stealing her powers, and Minerva created it.
I was gonna say, so did Minerva create Star? Okay.
Yeah, so Minerva comes clean. It's like, listen, because in the end of last issue, Captain Marvel comes and finds Minerva completely beating the crud out of her in the lab. So she goes back to Tony Stark, and they're helping her out. And Minerva is like, okay, I'm going to tell you some stuff, but you got to promise not to beat the hell out of me, because I did some stuff you're not going to like. So she owns up to the fact that she created this virus. She owns up to the fact that she outed her. And she owns up to the fact that Star is the receptacle of this power, because she wanted her for her. We find out that Star is actually a reporter, and now this is the thing I was going to tell you that I didn't really like about this.
Okay.
Way back in the first issue, apparently I keep calling her Miss Marvel. I don't want to do that. Captain Marvel did some heroic stuff, and this reporter was on the scene to watch this heroic grandeur, and apparently got it in her head, I need to be that. I need to be that hero.
Okay, so pretty standard villain.
Yeah,
origin.
pretty standard stuff. And it's exactly what I mean, villain origin. Because
Yeah.
she got it in her mind, I got to be that hero, but then when it really came down to it, she didn't want to be that. Once she got the power, and Captain Marvel goes to New York and calls her out in the middle of Times Square, and Star shows up, she goes, I'm really glad you did that, so now I don't have to fake this whole hero stuff. I could drop all the pretense. And that's what bugs me, is that they create this big origin about how this person wants to be a hero because it's the right thing to do. But when she finally does it, it's not real. She's not a hero in the slightest. She just wants the power. And so Captain Marvel, being the self-sacrificing person she is, she digs her own hand into her chest and finds the device that's creating the virus and rips it out of her.
Oh, it's metal as hell.
It is so metal as hell. Almost Immortal Hulk stuff. She's got a big old hole in her chest. And she figures this is going to stop Star. It doesn't. Star, it turns out, not only is drawing power from Captain Marvel, but every living person around her. So she's sucking up
Oh my god.
power from everybody, and all these people start passing out, and that's the end of the book.
Man, you were really pitching it to me negatively, but that sounds awesome. Like, I wish Star had a better name, but damn, that's cool.
See, I was fine with everything in this book, including Minerva. The one thing I didn't like is the fact that her line of thinking went from "I need to be a hero" to "God, that was so," I hated it.
I mean, I can totally see that, like someone lying to themselves, thinking is like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to be a superhero."
That's the way I'd have to think about it.
But
the way
then,
she was
like,
describing it.
Yeah, but then kind of realizing like, "Oh, I never actually wanted to be a hero. I just wanted the cool powers."
Yeah.
Which I mean, I can think of a lot of people like I know that are like that. So.
True. I don't know. I guess I expected more.
Yeah.
But in the end, you did need to create a villain,
Yeah.
and Star was doing way too good.
Like, Carol doesn't have the deepest bench for rogues.
No,
so,
she really doesn't.
I mean, and Star sounds like a pretty awesome book. So
Yeah.
I-
It's a
I
cute
support
outfit,
it.
and the cover for this book is really good.
Yeah, Mark Brooks is doing them now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess got like that shattered image with
Of Star and Captain
Carol,
Marvel going
yeah.
through it. It's a great cover. It's easily my favorite cover of this week. But that's what's going on. I mean, that was my one caveat.
Yeah.
Is that, and the rest of it is great.
Have you seen the art for the next arc of Captain Marvel?
I've seen the next cover.
The Last Avenger is what it's
Mm-mm.
titled. So after the Star stuff is done, it's a evil future Carol who is. Like,
Oh yes,
It looks so cool.
Dark Captain Marvel.
I'm
It looks
finally
really
gonna jump on
good.
this book. I've been kind of like, I like Kelly Thompson's writing a lot. I like Carol, but I'm reading too many books. I'm finally gonna jump on it with this book because, like, I do love me some evil versions of characters.
And I'm sucked in because new costume.
And it looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
It reminds me a lot of the Cancerverse characters. Which,
And that's exactly what I thought it was.
yeah, I'm glad to see a callback to that.
So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about as far as the Cancerverse is something that popped up a few years back when Marvel was trying to bring back Nova. It's basically an alternate universe where there is no death. I mean, that's the whole odd idea of cancer, is it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So when you have no death, everything is cancer.
And it's a horrifying universe of eldritch abominations and hollowed out Galactus corpses.
Yes, everything is just vile and tentacly and evil.
Yeah.
Evil as hell.
There's a very evil Avengers group in there because they fought the Guardians of the Galaxy. Which,
Mhm.
that Guardians run by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, phenomenal. One of the best books of the last decade.
So Nova, Richie Raymond, got caught in the Cancerverse, and he was supposedly died, but as you know, nothing dies in the Cancerverse.
Yeah.
Once you're alive indefinitely. Everything lives indefinitely. It's really horrifying.
Did you read that arc where Rick Rider came back and he like has some Cancerverse left in him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so good.
I'm really sad they ended the Nova books
Me too.
because it was really cool.
I wasn't a big fan of the new Kid Nova,
Mm-hmm.
but I love that series where it was him and Rick together. I was like, this is a good compromise.
I like the new kid, and the new kid was in Champions for a while.
Yeah, and he got depowered, right?
Yeah, basically the helmet lost his power, and his father was a Nova, and his father something came back pretending to be his father, and that kind
Yeah.
of screwed him up. I missed that book. Another thing I read, and that you didn't get around to it, and I don't think you really missed anything, is the Moon Knight annual. Now, here's the thing. Be it DC, be it Marvel, when it comes down to annuals, they tend to be one-shot stories of no real significant impact.
Sometimes they're fun, but
Sometimes they're fun.
Sometimes they're just there to like, hey guys, we announced Moon Knight last month. Here's a little Moon Knight.
Yeah, I mean, back in the 80s and the 90s, annuals tended to actually have some really good stuff in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogue was introduced in an annual.
Yeah. Arguably the best annual ever.
Me personally, I was a big fan of Rom Space Knight, and I thought Rom Space Knight Annual number 3 was the greatest comic they ever made because it had all the other Space Knights in it, and they were all cool looking.
Spidey got married in an annual.
He did. Oh, God, I remember that cover, too. It had alternate covers of him in his Spider-Man outfit, and then the direct market was him looking like Peter Parker. So in this Moon Knight annual, for whatever reason, Kang the Conqueror is messing with Moon Knight.
It's part of the, it's not Acts of Vengeance.
Acts of Evil.
Acts of Evil, there you go. But it's like a spiritual successor to Acts of Vengeance, where it's
they're switching.
Hero swapping.
Yeah, because
so
Kang's got no business in a Moon Knight comic.
We got a great She-Hulk versus Bullseye story out of it.
I saw that and I loved it.
A really good Miss Marvel versus Super Skrull story.
Bullseye managed to actually be in 2 books. And he was in a Thor book, and he was in a She-Hulk book. It's like, what the hell is he doing?
My boy's doing good, punching out of his weight class.
Seriously. So what's going on with this is Kang the Conqueror has created a new world where all the heroes are gone. The only thing he really has to deal with is the god Khonshu. The god Khonshu, being the abstinent god that he is, it's like, no, you're not going to do that. I'm going to make an adventure. And you got to deal with that. And he keeps making them. So you basically, he's got this span of history of all these different Moon Knights, of different parts of the timeline. Some of them look really cool. I mean, like the Cowboy Moon Knight looked really cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. But it was really just an opportunity just to make more Moon Knights.
Oh, yeah.
So Kang's constantly dealing with all these Moon Knights. At the same time, Mark Spector has found a way to go through time. And he's like hopping with Kang, fighting him with the other Moon Knights. And that's really what this whole book is. Really comes down to it. And then I think I can't even remember how this fiasco ended. It really just came down to
12 Kang pileup.
Yeah, you know what it really came down to, and the way to describe it. Remember that part in Doctor Strange movie where he faces off against Dormammu?
Yeah.
And Dormammu was like, "Dude, I'm infinite power. You just go away, death." And Doctor Strange beat him by annoying the hell out of him. And that's exactly what happened here with Kang. It's like when you're an omnipotent thing, a lash in your eye or the smallest imperfection is blasphemy. And that's exactly what happened here. He eventually just like, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore. To hell with it. Just destroys the whole thing, reverts everything back to the way it is, and Moon Knight's your uncle.
Oh, Kang.
Oh, Kang. Moving on.
What a delightful, convoluted man he is.
I read Squirrel Girl.
And it's so good. Oh my god. So this is Squirrel Girl's final arc, and they are going out with a bang.
Are they canceling the book?
It's ending at 50, yeah. Because I know Erica Henderson had left around issue like 35 or so to do indie work, and I think Ryan North is just like, hey Marvel, I'm ready to go, like issue 50, like I got a big plan to end it, and they're like, okay, we'll end the book, which I respect.
They reveal Squirrel Girl's secret identity.
Yes.
As Doreen Green.
And this is my favorite thing about this arc. The biggest threat to Squirrel Girl is after years of using the power of friendship to defeat enemies, is supervillains learning the power of friendship and teaming up. So you've got Doctor Doom, MODOK, Dormammu, Baron Mordo, Taskmaster, and Whiplash.
Who is definitely out of his class.
Yes. Like, there's even a note in the book, it's like, Whiplash knows that he's only here because the Abomination wasn't available, so he's going to try to impress these other supervillains.
And Doom takes it over. It's like, basically, no matter what happens, Doom triumphs. It's like, yes, if we defeat Squirrel Girl, Doom triumphs. If all of you die or get horribly mauled or whatever, you're all my competition anyway. Therefore, Doom triumphs.
So I support this plan because it
Doom
itself with the one truth that Doom triumphs.
And so, I mean, the whole thing is that she loses her identity. So all these villains jump her, And then she basically, was like, okay, stop. Realize something. I now don't have an identity. I'm going to be able to whip your ass in the exact same way I did normally because I don't have to worry about that anymore. They're like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I love all the people, all the lower rent villains just being like, oh, hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah.
Skedaddling before the big guns show up.
Yeah, they also had Boomerang in there too,
Yeah.
which was hilarious.
And Swarm, my favorite Nazi made of bees.
And they threatened him with the sprinkler system.
Yes.
Because apparently bees can't fly when they're wet.
True science fact.
And he just could see a Swarm just realizing it's like, damn.
There's an earlier issue of Squirrel Girl with Swarm where it's a choose your own adventure issue.
I read that one.
It's so good. And I mean, any issue, I'll read anything that Swarm's in because he's a Nazi skeleton carried by bees wearing a purple cloak.
And Swarm has actually had another kind of a banner month, just like Bullseye, because he was in another issue as a dinosaur.
Oh man, I didn't see that one. Which one?
Yeah, see, well, the whole thing of Swarm, all he really has to do is just cover a skeleton.
Yeah.
So he covered a T-Rex.
What was that in?
I'm trying to remember.
I remember he's in Velocity, the
I think it was
video game.
I think it was Miles Morales last month.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yes, because it was him and Peter that were dealing with it. I was like, holy crap, that's really badass.
Man, I actually kind of want to. It wasn't on our schedule for this, but I haven't been keeping up with Miles. But I read this week's issue.
I did.
Brought back something I really don't like.
Which one is that?
I do not like 616 Miles. Like,
Yeah.
who looks nothing like Miles, acts nothing like Miles,
Yeah.
doesn't have spider powers. It's just the name's the same.
Yeah.
That's not an all-universe character made. There has to be some thematic tie there.
Yeah,
Like, like, oh, it's a different version of this character.
I could tell that that's what's going on. Even though he was wearing that kind of a giant man outfit,
Which, oh my god. I
the
hate
way that Kingpin was talking to him, it's like, no, that's Miles.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Kingpin's pal Miles Morales, who got a happy ending.
Yeah.
Like, the only good part of Spider-Man 2 was that ending where he goes to a new, like, Ultimate Adjacent universe.
And what his family has.
Yeah.
So why isn't he still there?
But now he has these ultimatums. Like, oh, great, I get to be reminded of the worst thing that happened in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. Oh,
And he's
God, that
wearing-
was vile.
And he's wearing, like, an amalgamation of all the Ultimates gear. So he's
Yeah.
got, like, the Giant Man suit, but with Thor's harness. He's
And
got
Iron
Cap
Man
shield,
stuff.
He's got Iron Man gauntlets. He's got Hawkeye's little pouches.
Oh, that's what was going on with that.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I specifically recognized, it was like, he's rocking a shield, but he looks like Giant Man. And what's going on with the Iron Man gauntlets? It didn't even occur to me that he was the Ultimates.
He's all the Ultimates but in one.
Yeah.
Like, Saladin Ahmad's been doing a really good job with this run so far.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I do not like 616 Miles.
I think he's unnecessary.
He's a completely unnecessary character who we got rid of.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even serve a purpose in the book that he was introduced in.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man 2 is such a pointless book that it,
616 Miles needs to grab Carnage and get the hell out.
yeah, they can just chill out in
Wherever.
the
That's not
Ultimate-
us.
Which I would love to see stories in the Ultimate Adjacent universe, and now I'm like, are we just getting?
Yeah,
this
when are we going
already?
to get those? Because, I mean, it's clear that they're back,
I was really curious about that.
and then it went nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. I got rid of all my other issues of Spider-Man 2 except for the final issue because I was like, I love that end scene so much with Mark Bagley coming back to draw the Ultimate Universe again.
Although they did mention in this Miles Morales that he's starting to get flashbacks of the old Ultimate Universe.
The old Ultimate.
Yeah. So it's like, I thought that he was fully aware of where he came
Yeah,
from.
me too.
Because he gave the cheeseburger to the molecular man. That bears some explaining. I'm going to explain that. How we got Miles Morales in the main universe when he was actually the Ultimate Spider-Man. Apparently, all the major universes fell apart because they all started merging and just went crazy. And Doctor Doom got some deific power.
Got some Doom juice in him.
He got some Doom juice in him, and created a battle world, which was like an amalgam of all the different universe worlds, basically all the hits. All the hits, and
Hey, you guys like Future Imperfect? Well, here's the Maestro.
you like Inferno? We got this place is totally infernoed.
You like Extinction Agenda?
We got
Crickets.
that. No, while this is happening, there's two ships that are flying in like the multiverse, or what's left of the multiverse, and in those ships are people from the Ultimate Universe and people from the 616 universe, and their respective Spider-Men. So, I mean, they come to this place with the full knowledge of, crap, this isn't our world, what the hell happened? And they go through the whole story of dealing with Doom, dealing with, this weird pseudo-world that's not their world, and finding out that most of it has been created by Molecule Man, a severely powerful kind of villain.
He's a force of nature.
He's a force of nature, but he's limited by his own lack of intellect.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Is he the awkward, or is he just dumb?
He's just very imbalanced.
Yeah, he's severely imbalanced. He's not thinking straight.
He's not creative.
Yeah, he's not really a good villain.
He's a good battery for another villain like Doom, who can point him at something.
I mean, he's got this infinite power, but he doesn't have the mind or the drive to really do anything really sinister with it. So he's easily used by others.
I did like that one Dark Avenger story where they fight him, and he turns Bullseye into a very angry bowl of water, just boiling.
I remember that. I remember the Dark Adventures. So, Doom keeps Molecule Man in this weird vacuum and uses him for power. And Spider-Man and Miles Morales both find this place. Now, there's an ongoing joke throughout the entire of Secret Wars that every time that Doom or somebody visits Molecule Man, he's like, "Can I just have a cheeseburger? Man, I'm all alone in this place. Nothing's going on. Just give me a cheeseburger, man. Just give me a cheeseburger." And for whatever reason, when Miles Morales visits this guy, Miles has a cheeseburger in his pocket,
which
he gives him.
Very impressive.
And that's the reason why Miles Morales is in this universe.
Yeah, that was the very very fun way of realizing, like, well, the only thing that's really working in the Ultimate Universe right now is the Miles book, so we'll just cut out him and all the supporting cast and just paste it over the 616 and hope no one notices.
And it's all Molecule Man. He basically, when everything went back to their respective universes and the Ultimate Universe basically ceased to be, Molecule Man took Miles, all of his relatives, all of his cast, brought his mom back from the dead.
Which, thank God, because that's what made me drop the book, when they killed his mom and then did a 1-year time skip.
And then stuck him in Brooklyn. So now we have both of them.
Yeah, that's
but
both worlds.
To my understanding, I thought he knew this.
I also did. They never really gave any inkling that he didn't know, but I guess they also never gave an inkling that he did know. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that he did know because Spider-Man was still common knowledge. I mean, Peter Parker knew that this whole thing happened. This whole thing happened because of some dimensional jumping.
Maybe with time he's forgotten.
I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe it's bad writing. Maybe I didn't get it. I don't know. Who's writing Miles Morales right now?
Sully Ahmed. He's been doing a pretty great job. I've been enjoying it for the most part, but I mean, it's also been staying away from that Ultimate Universe baggage. I think just on the whole, we just need to accept the fact that ever addressing that Miles comes from an alternate universe will never go down well, unless it's Spider-Verse. But Spider-Verse treats it as his native universe.
I think I'm going to have to reread this book to try to get... I need to understand what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what's going on with that. We got some other stuff going on here. The Suicide Squad cast, the movie, not the comic, has been announced, and it's a lot of names, but we only have maybe 2 or 3 character names attached to them, and that's because common knowledge.
We've got the main cast that's been around for a while. It's David Dastmalchian, who was in Ant-Man. He played Abracadabra on the Flash show.
Oh wow!
He's playing the Polka Dot Man, who I'm very excited for.
There's a gory death to be had on that one. My man John Cena is going to be on there, which I like what you said right before the show started. Wouldn't it be great if John Cena was Captain Cold? And God damn, I really want that. But Captain Cold still.
Also would be funny, just a huge buff guy in a parka.
Yes, but I think Gentleman Ghost doesn't need to be that buff.
Can't see him.
We got Jai Courtney is going to be reprising his role as Boomerang.
Woo! Favorite part of the first movie.
It really was.
I'm a huge Captain Boomerang fan, and I was glad that Jai Courtney finally found a role that worked for him.
And he almost pulled like a Deadpool, because he always had that unicorn stuffed in his jacket the entire time.
He was polite. The best scene of the movie is the deleted scene where he individually tries to recruit everyone to do the mutiny, and ends with him getting Slipknot on board for it.
Yes, God, Slipknot was such a poser. I did enjoy. I enjoyed Captain Boomerang a lot. He was just a real sleaze. I like the like they had him in a bag, and the moment it opens up, he just jacks the first bag he sees.
He's one of my all-time favorite villains, and I was very happy to see him be the pile of human garbage that he is.
You know, when I was watching the original Suicide Squad, I kind of knew that Slipknot was going to die horribly.
Oh man, yeah.
Because he gets out of his truck, and he punches the first woman he sees. Then he's like, oh yeah, he's got a problem with women. I was like, oh, that guy's going to die.
So, you want to hear something real dark?
Sure.
Like, okay. So, this is one of the many things where I was like, man, maybe the editing saved Suicide Squad. Because in the originally, God, I'm trying to say what I'd say. In early versions of Suicide Squad, Slipknot is introduced as a rapist.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they got that idea.
Exactly.
They want someone to die.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the most reprehensible villain we could possibly cast for this?
Thankfully, someone realized, like, hey guys, maybe just like tone it down a notch.
Yeah, let's have him punch women, but we're still gonna blow his head off.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's taken straight from the comic. It's one of my favorite scenes. It's in like issue number 9 or something of the original run. Where Boomerang's like, it's like it is in the movie. He's like, hey, it's just a scam. Like, we don't really have bombs in here. I'm gonna break for it. But he just like waits for him to break for it first.
I mean, I knew they were gonna at least have one person test it.
Yeah.
Just like in the animated movie when they had the KG Beast.
Best name for a supervillain ever. Love KG Beast so much.
Make a run for it and watch his head explode. It's like, okay, this is gonna be a good animated movie. And that was the one where they were trying to get out of Hellcard.
Yeah.
Get out of Hellcard free. Yeah. So we got Nathan Fillion. Where is that gonna go?
Oh, there's so many options. I feel like it's gonna be like it was in the Guardians movies, where they're just cameos.
Mm-hmm.
But him showing up on a cast list makes me think maybe it'll be something bigger.
I wanted it to be something headlining, but I mean, Nathan Fillion. Well, you know what? My first exposure to Nathan Fillion was as a despicable villain in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Really, he's basically the last big bad of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, as this depraved serial killer preacher named Caleb.
Ooh, that sounds delightful.
Yeah, he eventually gets cut in half, from crotch up in twain. If you haven't watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
I'm watching it for the first time right now.
Seriously?
I'm like almost done with season 1. I'm loving it.
it is my all-time favorite show. I will be glad to talk Buffy with you.
I've had many. See, like half of my coworkers are just like, "Ooh, what happened in Buffy that you saw this week?"
And I want to hear it now. I'm going to be hitting you up, find out what you found out in Buffy, because I want to relive that vicariously through you. Let's see, what we also got. Joel Kinnaman, I don't know who that is.
He played Rick Flag in the first movie, so hopefully we'll get to see him absolutely destroy a piece of chicken like he did. My favorite part is Enchantress. He's like in the hotel with Enchantress, and he's like dramatically looks at the window and then just goes, just destroys a chicken dinner.
Do you know who Mei Ling Ing is?
I'm not familiar with them.
I'm not either. Flula Borg. That sounds like an MMA.
They're Flula Borg is a online personality I'm not familiar with, but a lot of my friends are very excited it's going to be in this movie.
Huh. Okay. We know who Sean Gunn is. Juan Diego Boto.
Not familiar.
No, I don't know who he is. Storm Reed.
Storm Reed played the lead in A Wrinkle in Time last year.
Oh, okay.
I think, I was thinking of, characters she might be. There was a character in the last Suicide Squad run named Hack, who was a black teenage girl hacker who wound up dying, but then being immortalized as Code.
Do you think that she was named after a Marvel character?
I'm trying to think of a Marvel character whose name's Hack.
No, whose name's Storm.
Oh, man.
I'm talking about her as a person.
Oh, that'd be cool.
All right. Pete Davidson, isn't that Dr.
Peter Capaldi is a former Doctor Who. Pete Davidson used to be on SNL, used to date Ariana Grande. Currently maybe dating Kate Beckinsale.
Yes, I actually enjoy his humor.
Me too. One of my buddies was like, "Oh, he should totally be Yo-Yo," just because I want to see him stretchy crawl out of King Shark's mouth.
Okay, so more explanation on this one. I was reading Suicide Squad quite a while back, and King Shark is huge. If you've ever seen The Flash, especially in the past 2 years, you've seen King Shark. He's huge. And Yo-Yo is like this elastic guy that, for whatever reason, I think Amanda Waller didn't agree with him.
Yes.
So she had King Shark eat him. And since he's like elastic, he survived.
There's this great creepy shot of while King Shark is eating, you see Yo-Yo like at the back of his throat, like wrapped around a couple of his teeth, going like, "Help me,
help me out here." If Pete Davidson is Yo-Yo and gets eaten by King Shark, then I'm gonna call that a win.
I love that Steve Agee is playing King Shark.
Oh God!
Just because he's got the dorkiest voice on the planet.
Have you ever noticed Steve McGee was one of the two gay roommates for Sarah Silverman, the Sarah Silverman show? Yes, I loved him.
He's a regular in James Gunn's projects, so
yeah.
Of course he gets a great role here.
Taika Waititi, I still don't know what he is in, but I'm all about this.
I honestly thought he was going to be King Shark.
Yeah, he's a voice guy now.
But then I thought, I was like, well, maybe it'd be a little too reminiscent of Korg.
I mean, he's a fine-looking dude. I think we can get him in front of the camera instead of back behind a microphone. Alice Braga.
Not familiar.
I'm not rocking that one either. Tanash Kajish?
Not familiar.
No, I'm not.
I'm just going to skip ahead to the bottom four, who we're all familiar with.
Viola Davis is coming back as Amanda Waller.
Idris Elba, all but confirmed to be Bronze Tiger. I'm very excited about that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect
Bronze Tiger's
casting.
awesome.
Margot Robbie, of course, we got that as a Harley Quinn, and Michael Rooker. Damn, just put him in front of the camera. I need to have me some Michael Rooker.
And I want Michael Rooker to be Captain Cole just because I want to see his. I'm just imagining Michael Rooker.
Oh, that's right. I was getting my Captain Cold's mixed up.
In the parka with the glasses, and a
yes,
full freeze gun, running out of bank,
and just angry.
Yeah,
just angry at everybody because no one lives up to his high standards. That's what it really comes down to. Is Captain Cold has that weird supervillain code of ethics. You don't do this. You don't do this. This is how we do things.
You don't do drugs. You don't kill women and children.
Yeah.
Or you don't kill, period.
Yeah.
You don't hurt women and children.
Yeah, because the moment you kill, then all the cops are after us.
I love Jeff Johns' Flash stuff in the early 2000s. Like, that was my Flash book growing up as a kid.
Do you remember that one evil Impulse character? Inertia. That the rogues got a hold of.
Yes.
After he killed Bart.
Yeah, he tricked them into killing Bart.
And so they were like, we are really going after you now.
Yeah,
and
Rogue's Revenge is such a good book.
It really is, because at the very end, they froze him in a statue pose, but he's completely coherent to everything around him, but he can't talk, can't speak, can't do anything.
Oh, no, that's...
And then they stuck him in the Flash Museum.
That was what Wally did to him. The Rogues, like, murdered the hell out of him.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, so Wally puts him in stasis and leaves him constantly having to look at the memorial of Bart. Zoom, Hunter Zolomon, gets him out of there, makes him Kid Zoom, and Kid Zoom depowers Zolomon because Inertia's the worst.
The worst.
And so the Rogues then are like, oh yeah, you're the guy that like set us up to kill the Flash. And there's like, yeah, here's the thing. We never really try to kill the Flash, but we're going to try to kill you.
Yeah.
And they succeed.
That's
very
right.
Well.
They do shoot him the hell up.
They leave him like hanging by one of Trickster's little slinkies, like in front of the police station.
I need to reread that because I could have swore they had frozen him in place because I was like, that's a horrible way to go about things.
No, Wally did that. And that was also very hardcore.
That was also very hardcore. Now we've also got a rumor here. I didn't see it, but you saw it about Dr. Doom.
Yeah, the guy who actually wanted to be Doctor Strange for many years, Viggo Mortensen.
Which would be a good Doom.
Yes, he would become a Latvian citizen, because that's how into his role as Viggo Mortensen.
So what are your sources on this?
Not the best sources.
So we don't really know if this is going to go anywhere.
It is your standard comic book casting source,
yeah.
So it's, hey, wouldn't that be cool if, which turns into one website saying it, then another website saying it. I hope it's true.
Yeah, it'd be great.
That would be absolutely amazing, and it would fix the missed opportunity again of Doctor Strange, because that was my dream.
Last time I saw Viggo Mortensen rocking a villain was Prophecy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Where he played Lucifer.
The best on-screen devil.
It was such a chilling devil. I mean, and his scene was so brief. But, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just even thinking about it because he was just so perfect. The way he spoke.
It's fall. We're getting spooky season. Watch The Prophecy.
Watch The Prophecy.
So good.
One of Christopher Walken's finest films as a rogue angel trying to basically get one up on humanity. And then at the very end comes across Lucifer, who's got that weird hiss of a voice to him. Him and Skarsgård from Constantine are probably neck and neck for my favorite Lucifers.
They're real good.
Oh, so good, so good. I'm actually going to watch Prophecy again just for that.
And one last thing before we wrap up, I want to talk about the new Suicide Squad comic that's coming out.
All right, let's talk about this.
Tom Taylor is writing it. He's written Injustice. He's been working on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and All New Wolverine over at Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But like working on Injustice, he's going to be willing to kill some characters.
Yeah.
Like.
So what do we got?
So we've got Harley Quinn and Deadshot.
Mm-hmm.
Who I accept this is what we need to sell a Suicide Squad book. As a long-term fan, I'd rather just have a full platter of fodder so they can.
Just a fresh plate of no absolutes, because no one's touching Deadshot.
Yeah.
No one's touching Harley Quinn.
Yeah, he's played by Will Smith. You don't not killing Will Smith.
Honestly, though, and this is gonna be the fan in me. I really wish that Suicide Squad would quit grabbing my Deadshot when he belongs in the Secret Six, Gail Simone's finest book.
They can both coexist.
I wish that they could coexist, but apparently one cannot coexist with the other.
I don't like putting Deadshot back in the Suicide Squad constantly.
I don't like it.
Because that. Yeah, it takes a lot of the drama out. He's like, well, I know he's not gonna die.
Yeah, he's not going to die, and he's always going to be forced into it.
Yeah.
Wherein with Secret Six, he was there because he wanted to be in it. I want him to be in a book that he wants to be in it.
There.
Yeah, and they're bromance.
But,
I love their bromance.
The rest of the lineup for cannon fodder includes King Shark.
Who's going to live?
Yes, probably, but he's just.
Let's go down the list and see who we're going to figure is going to die.
Magpie.
Dead.
The Cavalier.
Maybe dead.
And my boy Zebra Man.
Sure to die.
He's got magnet powers. So.
Does he?
Yes. For whatever reason in the Silver Age, they were like, what should we make this magnet-powered villain be? Zebra-themed.
Zebra-themed. Not the Dr. Polaris, which would be a proper pick for this.
Yeah. Well,
and he's been in Suicide Squad before.
He has, yeah. But I mean, Zebra Man, you get that nice quality goofiness, which is one of my favorite things about the original series, was basically the way John Ostrander and Kim Yale got to do the book. Was they're like, hey, it's post-crisis. There's all these goofy Silver Age villains that nobody wants to touch the 10-foot pole now that we're modernizing everything. So let us use like Captain Boomerang and Mind Boggler and Bronze Tiger and all these other kind of silly Silver Age characters and make something work with them.
I want Kite Man in that.
Hell yeah. Maybe Sean Gunn will play Kite Man.
I love Kite Man so much. Oh, God. If you ever get a chance, if anybody doesn't know what the hell we're babbling about here, Google Kite Man, because every time he is on the screen, he will, his whole thing is Kite Man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he is in throughout Tom King's Batman run, like once every 6 issues, Kite Man pops up.
There's line.
The best single issue of Tom King's run is the Ballad of Kite Man, where it's his origin, and it's so good.
There was one where Batman had basically beaten the crud out of him, and then just a moment stops, and then Batman goes, Kite Man, and he was like, hell yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright, so there was one bit of news I did want to throw in here that we just got right before we started, and that was the fact that in the solicitations for Lois Lane 7, it's revealed that, Superman number 10, or 18, is going to have Superman reveal his secret origin. Not his secret origin, his secret identity.
Very interesting. Especially because Lois is one of my favorite books coming out.
And apparently the image that we saw was just a picture of him getting ready to put on glasses.
I'm really curious to see what this is.
Or if it's going to stick.
I know they've been teasing, President Superman, in the future as being, a representative for the Legion of Superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if that's tied to that at all, if it's, him revealing his identity in the future, because what's the out here?
I don't know. Maybe there's I don't know. I bet you at the end it's like a big demon pops up and goes, ha ha ha, that's what the world would have been like if you'd revealed your identity. Now what did you learn from this? Yeah, okay.
Or Martian Manhunter will show up in Superman form and be like, oh, Clark Kent was making stuff up. Thanks, Clark.
Yeah, oh god, Martian Manhunter really is the MacGuffin to get rid of any secret identity problems.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a good 10% of his job in the Justice League.
That little bit of news does kind of wrap us up this week, unless you got something else you want to add?
No, I got my Suicide Squad news out there. So.
All right, well, we'll see you next week.